couch.me guitar lessons. Hey there, LickNRiffers, and welcome back to yet another awesome arrangement lesson here on LickNRiff, in which you're going to learn Piano Man by Billy Joel. It's a brilliant song, a brilliant composition. So first I'm going to play you the arrangement so you can see and hear how it goes, and then we're going to break it down note by note, lick by lick, with tabs right here on the screen as usual. It goes like this. Enjoy. Okay, so Billy Joel being Billy Joel, the genius that he is, this is in the key of C, but the harmony here is very, very rich. You still have all those open position chords that you'd expect from the key of C. Okay, C, F, G, A minor, but the richness comes from the different bass notes. So, for example, you're gonna play C over E at some point. You're gonna play F over A. Yeah, you're gonna play D over F sharp. You're gonna play A minor over G. So that's the brilliance of Billy Joel as a musician. A great musician can take a simple key, okay, C major, and turn it into something even more beautiful. So before we put on the first C chord, I want to remind you that there's a free workshop waiting for you on LickNRiff.com, okay, my website. So open a new tab, go to LickNRiff.com, and you will be able to immediately enroll into a free video series, a completely free guitar workshop, a full in-depth workshop designed to take your playability and your skills further than you ever thought possible, because I'm gonna help you break free of all those confining misconceptions that the guitar world still has, unfortunately, so you can break free and unleash your creativity, your personal voice, your personal musical expression on this beautiful instrument and find your own style and the way that you want to play the guitar, instead of always imitating other players and doing exactly what they do. So if you'd like me to help you break out and break free on the guitar and become a lot more flexible and creative in your playing, then go to LickNRiff.com and take the free workshop. Okay, you can start it right now, you can start it after the lesson. Just open a new tab and enroll, and you'll be able to start right away whenever you want. It's completely free. So I'm looking forward to seeing you inside. All right, so C major. Okay, I'm starting this with a solo. Okay, Billy Joel plays this piano solo, this blues jazz piano solo, so I did kind of the same thing. Now, normally I would improvise, but I also wrote down the solo so I could teach you the solo that I played. It's a C chord, a simple C major chord, okay, and I arpeggiate it while palm muting. Okay? And you can do it slowly, you can do it fast, okay? Or now, there are two options to express the ending. Okay? You can play the open E string and then 3 slide to 5, pull off to 3, okay? And then it sounds like this, okay? With the open E string. Or you can start with your little finger on 3 and slide it right away. Okay? It's two different expressions of the same solo, okay? With the open E string or without it. I prefer this over this because that extra E gives me an extra note in the arpeggio. And I don't know, something about it sounds a little bit more, you know, true to how this line should sound. Probably because if you put 3 on the first string, you get this. Okay, you get a 5th interval instead of a 3rd interval, which is a little less musical in this context. It's as if the solo is separate from the arpeggio, while if you play the open E string, it's a little bit more musical, thanks to that major third, that major third interval. But again, I'm just talking about an extra note. So the next line is the cooler of the two lines. It's this. Okay, it starts from this with an extra chromaticism, and then it has this. So it's 4-5, 4-3. Hammer on, pull off, pull off. Okay, 4-5, 4-3. And then immediately you play 5 on the 3rd, 4 on the 2nd. Okay, you can pull the string if you want, and then you play 5 and 3. Okay, on the same 2 strings. Okay, so, and then immediately 5 pull off to 3 on the 3rd. Okay, so it's, and then the second half of this line, okay, I divided it in 2 in the tab, so it's easier for you to memorize. Okay, that's the first half. The second half starts from 5 slide to 3, pull off to 1 on the 4th. Okay, so it's, and then you have the same idea. Okay, it's 3 on the 5th, 3 on the 4th, and then 3 on the 5th again, and 1 on the 4th. And you slide to 2 on the 4th. Now, you can hammer on the 2, because there are 2 ways to play this line. If you're used to soloing, okay, then put your little finger on 5 on the 3rd string. If you're not used to soloing, you can hammer on the 2 on the 4th. Okay, hammer on, and then you have your first finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, which is what I wrote in the tab. Okay, which is a C chord. Or you can play this. Okay, with that stretch. It looks a lot cooler than this, but it's the same note. It's exactly the same note. And then you have, okay, 2 to 3 on the bass, or 1 2 3 if you want, or 0 1 2 3, and this, which is G flat 13. It's a G augmented chord. It's a jazz augmented chord because it also has the 7th. So it's important to have the first finger on the bass or the thumb. Okay, the first finger or the thumb. Okay, on the 6th string, because you need 4 and 4 on strings 2 and 3, and 3 on the 4th. Okay, so you need all your fingers here, or the thumb, which is a bit more convenient actually, because that way you don't stretch your tendons. Okay, you just leave your hand, okay, your entire arm is straight instead of doing this. That's why I prefer using the thumb. Okay, it's healthier for the hand. So that's the intro solo. Okay, or, and then, or, okay, and then, or. So it doesn't really matter how you play it. You can change the rhythm, you can improvise over it, okay? You can change the lines. Okay? Doesn't really matter as long as you're having fun. Okay? You don't have to play my solo exactly. And then starts the chord progression. Okay? Just the intro chord progression, which is C, and then C sus4, okay, which is little finger on 3 on the 4th string, on the D string, and then take it off, back to C. So it's fingerstyle. I'm playing tin, ta ti ta tin, ta ti ta tin, okay, randomly with my fingers. I'm playing the chord, and then ta 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 ta, just randomly, out of the chord. It's an arpeggio anyway. And I'm just playing strings 4-3-4 or 3-2-3. Okay? It really doesn't matter. As long as you feel the rhythm, it's gonna sound right. Okay, so okay, we can just play 2 notes. Okay? As long as you play the chord on the beat, everything's gonna work out. Don't stress about the arpeggio. It really doesn't matter what you play in the arpeggio. As long as you have those chords on the beats, doesn't really matter. Don't stress about the arpeggios, the notes in between. It really doesn't matter. Right? Doesn't matter. Right? Just, okay, be comfortable. Don't overthink it. It's just an arpeggio. I know that many players like to think about every note in the chord that they're going to play, but trust me, you're the only one who cares. As long as you're, playing the song, playing the music, nobody's going to know the difference between and this. Don't overcomplicate it. That's my theory. Just keep it simple. Okay? And then you have this. Okay? It's F. I'm playing the whole chord. Okay? The open position F, not even the bar. And then I'm taking my fingers off. I leave the barring finger on 1 and 1, and I play 2 on the D string. Okay, we have the open third now. This is now C over E. It's actually C sus over E, but in sequence you don't hear it as a sus chord. You hear it as a C chord. Okay, so it's this. It's 2 on the 4th, and then you open that string, and then it's C over D. Right? It's C over D. Now, you don't even have to play the first string, okay? But I just keep my finger on because I don't need to take it off, okay? There's no reason to change your hand position here, okay? So it's 3-2-0 on the D string with your finger on 1 and 1 on strings 1 and 2. That's it. You can even play it as a solo. Just leave the chord on and play it as a solo. And then it's C again, and you repeat this. Experiment with it. Try different ways to play these chords. Now we have the verse and the chorus. The verse and the chorus are pretty much the same thing. I wanted to say you start and it starts, and I got you starts. So you starts with a C chord with 3 on the first string. Okay? And that's the note. Okay? 3 times. And then you have G over B, which has the same note. So it's 3 and 3 on strings 1 and 2, the open third string, and 2 on the fifth string. So it's... Okay? And then you have 1 pull off to 0 on the first string. Then you have F, but you play it with the A string. So it's F over A. You have strings 1, 2, 3, and 5. Right? So it's... And then the open E string. Then you have this. You have 1 and 0 on strings 2 and 3, and 3 on the bass, on the E bass string. This is now C over G. So if you look at the bass notes of what's going on here, you actually have a scale. C, B, A, G. You have a scale. Okay, it's part of the C major scale. So it continues, but I want to show you something. Even if you don't change the chord from F here, it still works. Okay? You don't even have to take the finger off of the 2 of the third string. Okay? So it's... You can play 1 and 2 out of the F chord and play G as your bass, and it's still going to be C over G. It's just going to be C6 over G. So it's just C6 instead of G, but nobody's going to notice. Okay, listen to it. Again. Did you notice the difference? Would you have noticed hadn't I told you this? Okay? If I didn't tell you that I'm gonna play 2 instead of 0 on the third string, would you even have thought that I was playing something different? That's the beauty about music. That's why you don't even have to pay attention to every note that you're playing. You just have to focus on the song, because nobody else is gonna notice. Nobody else is gonna focus on those micromanaged notes that most guitarists bother themselves with. Okay, so just have fun with the song. You can arpeggiate. You can skip that pull-off. Does it sound different? Yes. Is it better or worse? Who's to say? Now, the next line is F to C over E, just like in the intro. And it's the same. It's the same move. So, again, because this is fingerstyle, you don't need the E string, so you don't need to bar. You don't need to bar that first finger on the first, second strings. So you can just put 1, 2, and 3 on strings 2, 3, and 4, and you have F. So that's what you play. And then you play 1, 1 again, or just once. Okay, we're not playing the lyrics, we're playing the outline of the melody. And then you play the C over E. Okay, which is 1, 0, 2 on the same strings. Then 1 hammer onto 3 on the second string, and then you have D. Okay, so it's... Then you have G. Now, what you do with that G is, again, your choice. You can just play the bass if you want. Okay, and turn it into this, which is G9. It's nice. If you like it, go for it. Then you have the same C to C over G line. It's exactly the same. Okay, or makes no difference. And then you have F again. You play the 1 on the second string and then the chord. And then okay, it's 0, 1 on the first string, and then you play G7, which is G with 1 on the first string. So all you need to do is to add the bass. And then you pull off, or you play the you play the second note as well. Okay, you can pick it, you can pull it off, and then 1-1 on the second string, back to C. And that's the verse and the chorus. It's exactly the same melody. So C, G over B, F over A, C over G, or C6 over G. Then F, C over E, D, G, any way you want to play it. And then C to C over G again, F, G7, and then C. Now you have the la 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 part. So it's A or in C, and this is voice leading. This is bass leading most of the time. So hey, you have F E D as well in there. So now you have C B A. So it's 2 and 0 on the 5th string, and you play. It's A minor, but to accentuate the melody, I'm not playing the 2nd string. I'm playing the 2-0 on the 5th string, and I'm playing 2 and 2 on strings 3 and 4. And then I play them again. Okay, you can just play the 3rd string or both notes. Okay, strings 3 and 4, both on 2, and I play 3 on the bass. This is A over G. Okay, because it goes backwards again. And then it's 0-1-0, hammer on, pull off on the 2nd string. And then you have a choice. You can play D, okay? Or you can play D over F sharp and keep the bass line going. Okay, 2 on the bass. Or the open D string. And then you have 2 on the 3rd string. Okay? Or whichever sounds better to you. Right? And then you have 1 on the bass. This is now D minor over F. You're not playing any chord, you're just playing the bass, but this is what's going on. And then you have the A bass again. 2-2 on the 3rd, back to A minor over G. Okay, now this is technically A7 over G, because G is the 7th of A. Okay, if you play A7, you have G in there. So very, very technically, this is actually A7. Just thought you'd want to know. And then, right, then you have a hammer on a 1 on the 2nd string, and then the open 2nd string with D. So I'm just putting on 2 on the 3rd string, and I'm playing strings 2, 3, and 4. Okay, both strings 2 and 4 are open. Or you can play it with F sharp on the bass again. Right? And then 2 on the 3rd, and then the open 3rd string with a G chord. So I'm playing strings 3, 4, and 6. F, I'm playing the full F chord, okay, but I'm putting it on fingerstyle style, which is 2 and 3 on strings 3 and 4 with 1 on the bass with my thumb. You don't have to do this, okay? I'm just used to this. If you want, do it like this. If not, just put on the whole chord, the barred chord, and then you have C over E, which is this. It looks like E minor, but in this context, it's C over E. It's you can put E minor on, but I prefer if you put C on in case you play the 5th string by mistake. So it's 0 and 2 on strings 3 and 4, just like E minor, with the open E bass string. So out of context, this is E minor, but it's not. So put on that C note, that 3 on the 5th string. So now it's G, F, C over E, and then this. It's G over D. It's weird, but that's what it is. It's the open second, third, and fourth strings, all of them. This is G over D. Because the bass line here goes G, F, E, D. Okay, the lower note should be D, but we're running out of notes here because this is a guitar. And arranging all of this in drop D just to have that last low D note would be insane. It would make everything so much more difficult, and this is in the key of C, so I opted against it. So this is the la 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 part. A minor, okay, or A. We don't know whether it is A or A minor because we're not playing the second string, but this is A minor in context. Over G, okay, D or D over F sharp. Okay, if you play this, you hear that it becomes minor. It becomes D minor over F. So A and A over G again, and then D, G, F, C over E, G over D. And you go download the tab. The tab is for free. The link is below in the description. Go have fun. While you're there, go to LickNRiff.com and check out the free workshop. Or while you're there downloading the tab, you can scroll down and see what I have in store for you there. So thank you for watching. Bye for now. Have fun and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you in the next lesson.